In a world where Big Pharma writes the script, it's time to believe. Biohack. Become.
We're here to explore the truth about healing that exists outside the broken medical system, to give you the knowledge, the community, and the strategies you need to become the hero of your own health story.
Your guide is a biohacking entrepreneur, a near-death survivor, and a cancer warrior, navigating his own healing journey. Founder of BiohackingVille, Exodus Strong and QE Strong. Your host, Rob Rene. This is BiohackingVille, where the medical system has failed us. One man is leading the rebellion to reclaim.
Hey everyone, this is Rob from the BiohackingVille Podcast. So excited today we have Dr. Tracy Stroup here with us, a very incredible person. I'm very excited for you to meet her and get to know her background and her story. It's pretty exciting, and we have an amazing teacher here for us. Dr. Tracy, welcome to the BiohackingVille Podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here. All your material is wonderful.
It's such an honor for me. This is actually really exciting. So thank you for taking the time. I know you are very busy. You're doing a lot of amazing things, and I'd love for just my audience to get to know you a little bit better. Do you mind just giving a short history of how did you become the amazing woman that you are today?
Through a lot of failing forward, I'll say that. So,
I like that.
Getting back up with Jesus. So I started out in personal training, actually. I graduated with a degree in exercise science, a bachelor's of science in food science nutrition, and eventually worked my way into natural health, becoming a naturopathic doctor. I've worked at numerous companies, education-wise, even companies with bioenergetic feedback. I've also have been a consultant for numerous brands. Currently, I'm the Chief Health and Growth Officer of actually a tech company called Get Healthy Store, where we build branded stores for doctors with dispensary capabilities. I do own my own practice currently, and I have 4 clinicians that work for me. And I also have an academy where I train integrative and functional practitioners on testing analysis and other deep dives into biohacking, mitochondrial, peptides, all those things. So I'm an educator, I'm a clinician, I'm a speaker, I'm a product developer, so many hats, and then now I'm a tech person. So my career's really shifted through the years, but it's been all God-led, and I'm super grateful for all the knowledge I've gained and I can share, so that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We're going to learn a lot from you today, so I'm very excited about that. One of the things I know, one of your recent projects that you had started working on that is personal to me is your new podcast that you've created. Do you mind explaining that real quick?
Yeah, so it's called Quarterbacking Cancer, and basically what happened was over a year ago, September of 2024, my best friend and also my assistant in my company, my executive assistant, was diagnosed with breast cancer, and actually misdiagnosed with DCIS, which then turned into inflammatory breast cancer, and there was a lot of hoops that we had to jump. Through that experience, I realized a few things. One, the fear in the cancer culture was huge. When you're put into conventional and traditional care, which is the first option that's always offered, there is a lot of fear-forced decisions, which we were not having. I remember I was at an event in Arizona when she got diagnosed, and she called me and I said, we're not making any decisions today. Go home and we're going to pray, and that's what we're going to do, and tell them you'll call them back. We don't have to decide today. You just got this news. You've had no time to process. They wanted to schedule her for surgery and double mastectomy and just all these things, and it was wild. Wow. And personally, there's not a lot of history of cancer in my family, praise God. But yeah, exactly. But I can tell you it's not because my parents or my grandparents lived such a healthy lifestyle. They grew up with the smoking cigarettes with the car windows rolled up.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're so healthy.
Our immune systems are jacked up. But the surprise of how quickly they wanted to move without giving someone a time frame to decide or even get a second opinion or even just think. So that was first. And then on the opposite side of that was the alternative side, which obviously I was a purist at heart. I was like, oh, chemo's bad, radiation's bad, it's all bad. And so there was a lot of just division. And in that time frame, I got introduced to a project called the Anti-Appleseed Project. I was invited to speak, and this Anti-Appleseed Project has been going on for 17 years. It's actually an integrative oncology project. It's an event that happens in February every year where they bring in the patients or current people with diagnoses or people with past diagnoses, whatever that looks like, and the top integrative and functional oncologists like Dr. Nathan Goodyear, Jen Simmons, Sean Devlin, Keneally, so many people that come into this. And what's beautiful is that you sit with them in the crowd and they go up and they present, and then you have the opportunity to talk to them. I was invited to speak on peptides, and peptides for cancer specifically, by my friend John, who was the vice president of the Anti-Appleseed Project. And I was like, sure, I'll come. Ended up that I met Julia Chiappetta, who is the president, and we just really hit it off. And I'm good at constructing education and things. And I was like, hey, maybe if we formalize this a little bit. So she and I were side talking. I got to meet all the integrative oncologists. And through the struggle with my friend, Amber, who, if she didn't have medical insurance or she had the wrong insurance, she didn't want to go down the chemo route, she didn't want to have the double mastectomy, we wanted to find integrative oncology. And so God just laid this groundwork where I finally looked at the big picture walking out of that Anti-Appleseed Project after 3 days of hearing what is possible and what is out there, that we're forced to make a choice of conventional or traditional or alternative. And really what we're seeing is the most successful approach is an integrative approach where you can use repurposed medications and supplementation, where there is microdosing of glucose-wrapped chemo that's very targeted for cells and IV and ozone therapies. And so this whole integrative approach was introduced to me where I had to literally lay down my legalism of being a purist mindset and say, it's not my place to judge someone's walk. I have to meet them where they are as Jesus met me, and then show them what is best or possible. And because we had so many struggles with Amber, I was like, what if we created a program called Quarterbacking Cancer, where we step into that gap and we quarterback all of the plays for you to win this game? Like, what if we find you the IV ozone in your area that's qualified, or the hyperbaric chamber in your area that's qualified medical grade? What if we help you find the peptides? What if we help you find the mistletoe? What if we help you find the repurposed meds? What if we step into that gap for you because you don't feel well, you may not even know what you're looking for, and then let's do that over a plan, over 22 sessions, where we sit bi-weekly and we implement these strategies with and for you, or get you connected to somebody who can. And over a year's time, you build a protocol that you can do, that you will do, and that you can afford to do. Because no one should go bankrupt trying to save their own lives. Yeah. So that's the whole concept. And from that, I have gathered a team. I have referrals set up for Goodyear, Devlin, Dr. Janine Stryker, so many people that are these integrative oncologists, Dr. Kachardis, Hope for Cancer, Oasis of Hope, like all of these places that we can send people. Or if they want to do it in their own backyard and in the comfort of their home, we teach them how to set it up in a strategic way that's affordable, doable, it doesn't steal your life away, and you can maintain your health. You don't have to be sick, lose your hair, feel like you're dying as you're trying to get healthy. And I don't judge. If someone comes to me and they want to do chemo, I will give them all these options, but I'll love them where they are, and we'll protect the pathways as best we can. So we're not curing people, we're quarterbacking people to the best possible plan for their lives, their lifestyle, their diagnosis, in conjunction with working with their oncology team if they want, or if they want to go all alternative, we can do that. It's really about what they want. And I think the biggest thing in cancer culture is everybody tells you what to do, and nobody asks you, what do you want to do? What can you afford to do? What will you do? There's some crazy treatments, Rob, where we're doing like garlic enemas and things like that. And some people just won't do that.
Yeah,
people are like,
super true.
Give me the bucket. So there are conversations that people who have a diagnosis of cancer should not be fear-led. We are led by a spirit of power and of truth. And I think we need to put those conversations on the table. So this year at the Anti-Appleseed Project, which is February 26th, 27th, 28th in West Palm Beach, and they are taking registration now, the entire theme is based on quarterbacking cancer. And all the integrative oncologists are so excited because finally there's someone that stepped up and was like, I'm going to show you how to quarterback this. And it's not about me. It's not about you, Rob, scheduling with me and needing me. It's about me finding the person, the place, the therapy, the peptide. What is it that you need? And then I get you there. So that's what the program is about. It's more of directional.
That's so exciting because you're blowing my mind because I knew you were working on some things, but I didn't realize it was so comprehensive. So that's what's so exciting. I knew you're doing a podcast, right? I've listened to a number of your episodes and I've loved every single one of the ones that I've listened to. I've got a couple I've got to catch up on, so I'm excited to do that. In fact, I'll make sure I do that this weekend. But I am so excited about what you're trying to put together in the overall project and direction with Anti-Appleseed, because just me personally going through this cancer journey, just so people that don't know my story, I was diagnosed with malignant melanoma back in November, so it's almost a year ago that I was diagnosed, and I had to go through everything that you're mentioning. It was 100% fear-based early, and I found no good information, right? All the information I would find, it was like either one or the other. It was like, you have to do everything holistic, or you can't do the big pharma route, they're just going to kill you. And it was like, you get this, but then he's okay, I don't have insurance. So then it's like, how do I afford any of this? Right. I literally have gone broke this last year trying to do all of this holistic treatments and integrative, because I am doing the integrative approach. So I'm doing immunotherapy in the States, but I've got some amazing doctors down in Tijuana, the TAM Center, and they're doing some experimental treatments with me. Beautiful. So it's super, but to get to there, it was a God thing, right? Literally, it was like I praying, how do I do this? Because I don't know. And every single you talk to has a cure for cancer. You should be doing this. Oh, have you heard about this? Have you heard about B17? Have you heard about this particular tea? And everybody has their own thing. But then the more you research cancer is fascinating in the respect that there's so many different types, right? There's 100 plus types of cancer, and each one of them operate differently. I remember you and I met a number of months ago, probably 5 or 6 months ago, and you gave me some books to read, and so I went and I've read those, and man, that was life-changing, right? The How to Starve Cancer.
Jane McClellan.
Jane McClellan.
She's coming to the Anti-Appleseed. She will be there, and she's doing an updated lecture on repurposed meds. And this is why people should attend, because it's going to be amazing. And Rob, you hit me up after this. We're gonna get you there. So
there you go.
But the big thing is to remember, and this is I start out when someone comes to see me, we do a discovery call and we just talk about what's your diagnosis, what have you done, what do you want from me? And so most people want to feel good. They're just like, what I'm doing is not working, or what I'm doing is working, but I wanted to see if there was anything else I could do. Some people come to me with the kitchen sink protocol. They're taking everything, every supplement, every tea possible, and they're not getting results. And that's where I go in and I'm like, let's look at your testing. Let's see what your blood is telling me. Let's look at a GI map. We need a mycotoxin test. Let's see if you have any metals, because that's the stuff that's not done in traditional. And sometimes people lead their own health and they're just doing every supplement from every podcast they hear. Then you don't really know what's working or if it's working. And it's a lot of money and it's a lot of supplements. I know people taking 30, 40 supplements at a clip and doing that 3-4 times a day. And is that good? Maybe for somebody, but maybe not for everybody. The second thing that I tell people is that your body's not doing anything wrong. I think we have this idea that when our body gets sick or diseased or we get a tumor or something happens, that somehow our body broke. It's really not. Disease comes from two things, and all chronic disease. And cancer is put in this category because it's a death sentence. You hear the word cancer, you think you're going to die. Whereas if you look at ALS, it's probably far more, the ending of ALS is probably far more leading to dying within 5 to 10 years than cancer is. So it's been propaganda that cancer is a death sentence. And so what I tell them is nobody knows the day and the way. Only God knows that. He knows every hair on your head. So don't let someone speak something over you, because we don't know your story and the ending yet. We're just here to walk it together. And then the third thing I tell them is that cancer cells are your cells. They are your cells. They're not this. And when you declare a war on cancer, you're declaring a war on yourself. So really what we're looking at is these cells that can't fix themselves or have become sick. And they can't die, but they can't repair. So they try to survive the best they can, and they mutate their survival instincts, which means they have more GLUT4 receptor sites, which means they take in more sugar than your regular cells, which is why we cut sugar. They also can eat oxidized cholesterol. They can eat protein. They can eat oxidized fats. So really, you have to know how to look at the testing, which is what Jane McClellan talks about in her Metro map. How is your cancer feeding? And then she uses and recommends repurposed medications to block the pathways and starve the particular cancer cells, not your other cells, because they're not feeding that way. They're feeding universally. They're just going on with their happy lives, eating their steak one day, they're organic, whatever, the next day. But cancer cells are trying so hard, and sometimes they can only eat one thing, and that's what they focus on. Everyone's like cutting sugar over here, but they might be eating fat. And so you're right. You're on a keto diet, but your blood work or your testing is telling us, like, Rob, we need to switch your diet because your cancer got smart, because it's your cell and it's trying to live. Yeah. And so that's where all these therapies come in. And I think everybody has a piece. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle of the right way to do it. And I do believe that the body can and will heal given the right things at the right time. But it's not everything all the time. And so it's very strategic. And that's where, like, my team comes in and quarterbacks that for you of, hey, you're taking all these supplements. You need these 5. This one, not necessarily. It's a good one, but you don't need it. It's not doing anything therapeutically right now. Your deficiency is not there. I don't see a pathway disruption there. There's some repurposed meds that have been researched that block these pathways. We're going to get you connected with either your oncologist or someone that can prescribe this for you, so on and so forth. And we work with people that may have insurance and want to run everything through their insurance. And so we work with their physician, right, or our PCP, or we have medical people in our practice that we refer to that they can write these scripts out of state or across 50 states. They use like legal pathways that way. Or we say, hey, this supplement regimen you're on is great, but you need EBU, or you need IV ozone, or hey, I would recommend high dose vitamin C, but you haven't had your GDP6 test yet to know if you can handle it. So there's so many things that you can do, or maybe mistletoe, or whatever that looks like. And so it's not just throwing everything at somebody where you feel like, my gosh, I'm taking all these supplements, I'm drinking all this tea, and nothing's working. And it just may be like just the wrong plan. Right. So we can adjust those things. And I'm open to working with oncology teams and talking to them about nutrition. And most of the oncology teams that I have worked with, people that have come to me that are on chemo and radiation, they've been pretty open to being like, hey, we don't know a lot about that stuff. So they have a couple of studies where they're like, no B vitamins. And I'm like, whatever, you live on B vitamins. But anyway. And then finally, that I tell people, slow down. Healing takes time. And there is an urgency, but there's not an emergency, unless there is. It's very rare that I get somebody in who's, I've been given 3 days to live. Most people are like, hey, I'm stage 4 and it's metastatic. And when they hear that, they think it's over. Right. And really the staging comes from how far of an infiltration that we're seeing. So let's take breast cancer, for example. If you have it on the skin as inflammatory, it can be stage 1 or stage 2. But if it starts to go into chest wall, it can be stage 3. And if it goes towards your lungs, it can be stage 4. So we had an incident where somebody had infiltration into the lungs. They staged it at stage 4. That allows them to prescribe higher levels of chemo and get that approved by insurance. But when we tested the fluid biopsy, it wasn't malignancy. It was just inflammation going into the lungs, so it wasn't really stage 4. Oh, wow. But do you see what I'm saying? So yeah. You have to test the system too, and knowing the right questions to ask. And God bless that they give you immunotherapy, which again is up and rising in oncology. Yay, because it should be. But it's not always the first therapy offered. They want to do chemo and radiation still first, but you got to pause and say, What about immunotherapy? And sometimes the oncologist you're sitting in front of doesn't know about an immunotherapy. And guess what you should do? Get a new oncologist. If they don't,
I mean, when I, just a quick personal story, when I was researching what I was going to do, I went and met with a number of oncologists, and it was frightening, the difference between the oncologists that I met, right? One of the oncologists, like, literally had to look up the standard of care for melanoma. He didn't have a clue. And so all he's going to do is just recommend whatever this piece of paper tells him to do. He wasn't knowledgeable enough about cancer and melanoma specifically. It was like, why would I trust you for my care when all you're going to do is look up a piece of paper that I could look up myself? So
because he can prescribe it.
Right.
And again, no judgment. I've had clients come in that I literally said to them, I had a gentleman whose PSA was 600 with meds to the bone and liver, and he was pretty far advanced. And I remember I called one of the integrative oncologists on my team, and I was like, I need you to do a consult with him and to be perfectly honest where we are and what you would recommend. And at that time, the integrative oncologist said, you should go do a round of chemo. We got to get this under control. It's treatable, but you're very far advanced. And so he did. And guess what? His PSA is 14 now. He's getting better. And that was a year. That was a whole year. Now, sometimes it's not what we want. It's not always, gosh, I didn't want to go that direction. But, you know, what I tell people all the time is the body is very resilient. Do I believe in rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds of chemo and radiation and that's all you're doing? Absolutely not. That's not integrative. But I'm certainly not going to judge your choice or your past or even your path that you're choosing. I'm here to sit with you. I will give you the alternatives. I will talk to you. I will tell you the truth. I had a lady that just came in. She got diagnosed with DCIS, which is not technically cancer. It's distal carcinoma in situ. And it just means calcification of the mammary glands in the breast. And so it's not really cancer. It has a percentage where it could be. And so we looked at everything, and they wanted to do a double mastectomy. And I was like, oh, I think you're jumping the gun. I was like, I would go get a second opinion. So she did. And guess what? They didn't want to do a double mastectomy on the second opinion. They were like, this isn't cancer. So you have to fight for you have to be verbal. And what they try to do is suppress your words with fear. Because if you're scared, you're afraid to speak or ask or even say the word cancer. I'll hear people say, I'm not going to own it. Great, don't. Because honestly, it's just deficiency or toxicity. Let's figure out the root. And even if you go get the double mastectomy or you get the tumor removed or whatever that looks like, the root cause of why you got it is still there, and you have to address it. And that takes nutrition and lifestyle change and supplementation and sometimes repurposed meds and sometimes mistletoe. And you really have to figure out, how did I get here and how do I never end up here again?
Yeah, amen.
That's a big part of it. So that's everything that we do. And it's a year program. We have a monthly fee, and it's super cheap because I don't want to take people's money to come talk to me for 30 minutes twice a month. Do it out of necessity because girls got to eat, and I got kids I got kids. Let's leave it at that. But also, it keeps people committed at a very small fee, and they get a tremendous amount of benefit, and then they have the resources and money that they can go get the therapies they need. And that's really what I'm trying to do, is just get people, give them hope, give them Jesus, give them direction. And like I tell them when they walk in, I can't guarantee anything for you, but that I'll be here. I'll be here. I guarantee you that. So
yeah, that's amazing. So the thing is, we need to just let more people know about you, that you have this, because man, it would have been a dream for me when I was diagnosed. I've gone through this whole process for a year, and I still want to work with you. It's like amazing that you're doing what you are doing, because it's exactly what I would have wanted back then, right? A year ago, if I would have known you, right, that would have been my first call. It was, okay, great, I want to go figure this out. I don't know what to do. I don't know what this is. I don't know even where to go or what to even start with. But I just think it's amazing that you are doing that, because you're going to just help so many people. Because as I've had to do this myself, I've had to research so many different things, and I'm definitely not an expert. I'm just a normal person who ends up getting it, and then I'm infatuated with it because it's, oh my gosh, this is something that could kill me, right? So I need to figure out what that is, and then how do I change my body or my personal situation to where, one, I can get rid of whatever caused this. Then I have an interesting dilemma, like you mentioned. It's like you mentioned this to me in the past. It's your body, and so you basically need to love it, and you don't declare war on yourself. And I was like, but I'm a fighter. I want to get rid of this. I want to win the battle. So how do I still have that courage and strength and the fortitude to win the battle, but not to go to war with my body?
Yeah, I love it.
How do I do that?
This is why I chose the football analogy. I'm in a house of all men, and they're all sports guys, right? So I was an athlete, but I didn't play football. And I watched my son, and I've watched him change through the years of how he supports his team. So if you consider your cells your team, right? Some of them are good players, some of them are exceptional players, some of them are not so good, some are bench warmers. And so you don't break down your bench warmers, and you don't try to kill them or take them off your team. You try to enhance them and bring them up and show them the pathway to do that. So it is okay to be angry at your team. It's okay to be like, hey, get yourself in line. We got to play, man. We got to win this game, and I need all of you to get up here with me. I need all of you to be 100% in, giving your 100%. That's okay. You can totally be motivating, but you don't hate your team, right?
Yeah,
so your body's fighting for you, Rob. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Even those little cells are trying to live. We just want to make sure that they understand that they can live, but they got to be a healthy cell or they're going to be a dead cell. And that's how the body works. The whole concept of autophagy and apoptosis of the cells, meaning that your cell dies and then your body recycles the good parts and shoo-shoos and poo-poos away the bad parts. That's what our body should do. That is an optimal team. They come on the field, they play the play, they get off the field. That's it, we're done. With our bodies, though, what happens is some people want to stay on the field that don't belong there. And so we need to coach them off. You're done. You have done your job. Way to go, but you need to go away now. Graduate, go on with your life, right? It's like the dads that live vicariously through their kids on the football field, where they're like, back in my days, yeah, your day's over, dude. This is about your kid.
Next.
So we're focused on helping those cells either heal or die, because that's the natural process of our body. That's what it does. It either heals a cell or it destroys it, and we make a new and fresh, healthy cell. So that's what we want. So it's okay to be motivating to yourself, but not to be angry with your body, not to be angry with yourself. The Bible tells us be angry, but don't sin. And I think what happens is we get rooted in this depression of, how did I get here? Why did this happen to me? And that's okay. It's okay to grieve. Grieving and regretting are two different things. When you grieve something, you look at it and say, that's not what I really wanted to happen, and I'm sad about it, but I'm okay with the next steps. It's never going to really be the same for me, but I'm going to keep moving forward. Regretting is getting stuck in the, I wish I could have, should have, would have, but you never move forward from that point.
Right.
I tell my clients all the time, listen, you can grieve it. Absolutely. This is really hard. No one's saying it's not going to be hard. I don't expect you to walk through this with a smile on your face 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I also think what happens is it becomes who you are and what you do 24/7. And I remind my clients that you have to live while you do this. You can't live for this. You have a life and a family, and some people have kids and a job. And I'm like, that is who you are. You are still mom, you are still dad, you're still husband, you're still wife, you're still the CEO or whatever. I was like, that's still who you are. You're still made in the image of God. You're still the daughter or son of the Most High God. I was like, you're not your cancer. It's just something you're working through, and there's a lot to learn from it. Most people come out of this with the integrative approach like you, healthier than they ever been in their life. They're at a healthier weight. They eat better. They feel better. They have more energy. And why? Because you have this looming diagnosis over you. If your tests are showing everything's good and your body's showing everything's good, let this label go.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Get rid
Because
of that. Yeah.
you're not that. You are now a new and healthy creation. You have been transformed in your mind. So you're allowed to be, I want to win this battle. Sure you do. You tell your teammates, hey, buck up or you're out. You're off the team.
There you go.
That's
There
okay.
you go.
Absolutely. You don't want freeloaders on there that are just going to bring your team culture and morale down. They either buck up or they get out. And so that's what we do. And that's totally okay. That's competitiveness with yourself. And that's a good thing. It's healthy to always want to strive to be better. I think it's just more or less, are you harboring anger at yourself or at something else while you're looking at this battle? Because that's not going to serve you.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. I just want to win. It's like I am such a person. I am going to win this regardless.
That's
I'm
right.
not sure how yet, but I know that I'm going to win. And so I just
And it's
have
never
that.
fast enough. It's never
Yeah.
fast enough. Like patience, oh boy, when we talk about the fruits of the spirits, love, joy, peace, patience. If you have love, if you have joy, you have peace, if you have peace, you have patience. And I think it's the peace that the enemy comes in and tries to disrupt.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to have love through this, Rob. You won't feel joy through this battle. You certainly won't have peace. You're going to live in fear. So how do you become patient in the process and to know that your body's doing the right thing and that it is healing and that you're doing the right thing? You need that peace that surpasses all understanding. And in the cancer culture, that's not what they teach you. They want you to be fear-based, urgency-based. They don't want you to think through your decisions. They want to constantly pressure you. It's so counterculture to what we feel spiritually when we're like, hey, you know what? I woke up this morning. I have a great life. My kids are healthy. Man, I'm so joyful to be here because I'm surrounded by love. And even you, Rob, how many people have come to you, have helped you, have offered you help, have prayed for you? Like the love that gets poured out on people that get a diagnosis. The culture's like, poo-poo all that. Live in fear. You know,
Right.
no, you gotta pull that love in and be like, hey, this is hard, but I'm gonna find joy today. One thing,
There you
I'm
go.
joyful,
Yeah.
which is gonna bring
love
you
it.
to a level of peace. And then you can become patient with your body to be like, hey, heal, okay? I'm gonna give you time to heal and space to heal. I'm gonna do all the things for you to heal, but I need you to heal. I'm gonna be patient to a
Yeah.
point, not all the time.
Yeah, it is. I had no idea that it would take this long, right? It's like you think about it and you hear about it and you say, okay, I'm going to win this battle. It's okay, I want to win this battle tomorrow, right? I don't want to win this battle in a year from now. Let's here it is a year. It's holy smokes. This is a long-term situation and you have to make a decision, right? I know other people who are going through this battle and they've just given up. And I feel so bad because it's like, it doesn't matter how far along you are, never give up. There's still hope. You have breath in your lungs today. God has a plan for your life. So
Right.
don't give up. There's still hope. And man, I'm nowhere near that. I'm already healed. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just
It's
so
time.
I'm
That's right.
I'm okay. But I just feel so bad that there are other people who've given into this culture of fear. And
Yeah.
they're just like, this is what it is. I'm like, no, that's not okay. That's but how do you? It's really difficult for me because I want to go shake them and just say, you know what, you can get better. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. The Lord could heal you in a moment if you ask.
That's
you
right.
know? It's
Sometimes the healing does come on the other side of heaven, and that's okay. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
You
true.
do get that glorified body when you're up there. I can't
Yeah,
switch.
yeah.
It's
I've
like-
almost got my upgrade a number of times and I haven't gotten it yet.
It's not all linear, right? Like healing's not always linear, but it is possible. So that you do have these valleys that you go through. Everybody does. So I want you to hear this because I'm not going to tell you that every client I work with is just, hey, we walked in the door and it's just been all uphill from there. No, we've battled. We've had people's numbers come back that weren't optimal and we had to try different things, but it's really about communication, right? And persistence and hope. And I'll tell you, Rob, the mindset and having faith that God is fighting for you and with you is a huge part of healing. You know, and I can't tell you like how much the emotional, which is why the very first thing they take away from you is your spirit of power. They give you a spirit of fear. And so what is that? It's an emotion. You're scared, right? But if you would be like, nah, I'm not going to be scared. I got this. Like from day one, your trajectory would be completely different. And there are studies that show that people that believe in God heal faster, heal more often, like statistically across the board. So
That's
having that transformation of your mind, even if you choose today to start, to be like, you know what? I'm going to retrain my brain. Because you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I am so joyful after battling this for 2-3 years. But I want everyone to hear this one thing. The body, regardless of what you have, doesn't matter what you have, takes 2 full years to rebuild your entire body. 2 years. So think about what you're doing right now, and in 2 years, what will that effect be on your body? Are you eating organic, non-GMO food? Are you getting your hydration? Are you taking your supplements? You're getting adequate sleep. You're moving your body for lymphatic cleansing. You're eliminating all pesticides, products, skin products, things that have chemicals and poisons, and you're having a daily bowel movement every day. You're waking up with gratitude, joy. You're praying. You're seeking God. Okay, so let's say you're doing all those things and you start it today. In 2 years, I promise you, your body will be 100% different than if you would get up and eat donuts, drink moldy coffee, have gone to bed at 2 a.m. Think about it. Every time we make a choice about how we live, how we think, what we eat, what we do, how we pray, we are either building a cell or we're destroying one.
Oh, wow, beautiful.
That is not woo. It's chemistry, it's physiology, it's biology. And so your body flips over in 2 years. So ask yourself this question today. In 2 years, who do I want to become? And what can I do in this moment today to start becoming the person I want to be in 2 years? Do you want to be fully healed, restored, full of vitality and vibrance? Or do you not want to be? Right? And so we all can make that choice right now. You have more control over your health than anybody in this earth. Anybody. You and Jesus. You too control your outcome. Nobody else. So make the decision today to pick up the phone, make the appointment, buy the organic food, drink your water, go to bed early, read your Bible, make a conscious effort every day to become that person you want to be in 2 years. That's the best thing that anybody can do, whether you have a diagnosis or not.
That's the most incredible advice. Thank you so much for that, because that 2 minute period was priceless. So that is so incredible. Thank you. I think that's just going to help so many people. We can just parrot that message and we can get that out to people, and I think that they can transform. Right? My older brother's got thyroid cancer. It's like he doesn't really want to start making changes. I was like, bro,
right.
Come on. Just so I want to send him that clip, right? That is like so perfect. It's like,
send it to everybody.
Today. I know, I can't wait. It's going to be so fun to send him that. But to everybody, regardless of whether it's cancer or just any health condition, like you mentioned, that is so key to have that. I am having a blast learning about the mind body spirit connection.
Oh, yeah.
How important that is, how your spirit connection is very important. Like you mentioned, your faith in God, it's proven that people, if they do have that faith, they heal faster. But then your mind is so incredibly powerful and strong, and how it can physically control your body. That's fascinating too, right? That's without any drugs or medications whatsoever. It's just the power of your God-given mind. So God's built this temple in such a complex way, in such a fascinating way, that it's built to heal itself, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's just I want people to hear that. It's like He made this body so incredible that if you give it what it needs, and that 2 minute segment that she just went through, and what you should do and can do, and how your body can recycle over a 2 year period, just start that today. Right? Yep. Start the process today, and then just think about what your body can be like over that period, because God designed this body wonderfully and incredibly. Just start giving it what it needs, right? And she just explained exactly what it needs. So start that. So anyway, thank you for that. Was beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I've certainly enjoyed our time here, and I'm happy to come back at any time, and we can get into deep dives on.
Yes, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna dig into some fun topics, and I'm so excited about what you're doing with the Appleseed Project, and just teaching them how to quarterback cancer, having an actual methodology for doing that for all these doctors. Because there's all the holistic practitioners, oncologists, and stuff that I meet. They are really good for their little teeny part of the world, what they do. But they're not. There's not. I haven't seen yet somebody's doing what you're doing, really looking at it from a 30,000 foot perspective and saying, "Look, there's all these things. How can we put together a process where we can help people?" I'm like, gosh, it's so needed. So God bless you for doing that, and I'm excited to be just a little teeny part of it. Whatever I can do to to be a part and help in that world, I'm going to do as much as I can, because I believe that, in all honesty, I believe that I'm here on this earth for helping people get through what I've been put through. And so
Your pain usually becomes your purpose, right?
Yeah, it does. And man, if you had asked me 5 years ago, I'd be doing what I'm doing today, I'd say you're absolutely crazy. I hated to talk about my faith. I was not comfortable enough in my religion and my faith in God to even have that conversation. Now I've done so much of researching the Bible and understanding the Bible and just understanding my faith. And now I have a relationship instead of a religion. So I'm okay talking about that. It might offend some people, and I'm not going to apologize for it, because that's just who I am. But at the same point, and then I get diagnosed with cancer, right? It's like I transformed into like just being super focused on how do you change this incredible temple, right? I used to be a young athlete where it's like, man, I knew really well how to take care of my temple back when I was young. But then life happens and you go do all these other things, and man, I obviously didn't take care of my temple the way I should have. And now I'm reversing all of that. So I'm 1 year into that 2-year transition.
I know. Wait till next year. Wait till next year. You're gonna be
yeah, man. Next year I'm gonna be climbing Mount Everest or something.
I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Just God bless you for everything you're doing. How do people get in contact with you, or what's the best way that you'd like them to find about your Quarterbacking Cancer podcast, which is super, super cool. So everybody should subscribe to that. How about the Appleseed Project? How do people get a hold of?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to my website, which is just Tracy Stroup, ND, as a naturopathic doctor. And you can find everything about Quarterbacking Cancer and the Anti-Appleseed Project and how to register. There's also a contact form on there in my assistant's direct email, so you can send us an email directly. If you want a discovery call, if you need help with quarterbacking, please reach out to us. I have trained practitioners. My assistant does all the discovery calls because she herself has walked this whole battle, and she understands, and she's a great person to sit with, and just to have that person who says, yeah, me too, I get it. And I think that's what we're all looking for. We're looking for that person that can say, me too, I understand, and we're here to help. So just my website, tracystraupnd.com. Reach out in whatever way, and we're happy to help you. And thank you, Rob, for everything you're doing. And I'm always praying for you, and God bless your journey.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's going to be, like I said, I'm healed already, so it's just a matter of time. And I appreciate you very much. I'm just so excited, and just God bless you and all the efforts that you are doing. It's just like you're going to change the world for good, and you're going to have lots of rewards in heaven, which I'm excited for you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we're signing off from the BiohackingVille Podcast.
Remember, if you have air in your lungs today, God has a plan for your life. Believe, biohack, become.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Join the community and get the show notes at biohackingville.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at BiohackingVille. Until next time, believe, biohack, become.